Testing. 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get a phone call in just a second, so I might be able to do it while I'm on the phone. If not, I'll do it. In like an hour. Hey, how are you?
So I woke up late and then when I got in my car, it had like no gas in it, so I had to stop.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing it that way? Wednesday?
Mhm.
No? You sure?
All right. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to the live webinar, Understanding the CrossFit Athlete Life Cycle. My name is Mike Wiest. I'm the founder of TheBoxBusiness.com and CrossFit Gym, CrossFit Como. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the athlete life cycle. So how athletes find about the gym, how they consider, trial, make a purchase, and most importantly, join your gym, and then how they become brand advocates. So if you're on the live webinar webpage, which I see a couple of you guys are, go ahead and type your name in the chat room and let me know where you're from. And I'd like to welcome you guys. Okay, it looks like from my end, I want to welcome Paris from CrossFit Bradenton. I'm guessing that's in Florida. Dana from Conviction Training, home of CrossFit Hilton Head. Very good. Welcome, both of you. I also welcome Matt Frankel from CrossFit City Line. Thanks for joining us today, Matt. And Chris Samenta from CrossFit Extracted. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see, who else do we have on here? Kelly from Magni CrossFit, welcome. Okay, who else? Who else do we have on here? Looks like in the chat we have Ben, and we also have Richard. So welcome you guys. I'm not sure where you guys are from, but welcome. Let's see, who else registered? Let's see. Cool. We have Charlie Sims. I'm not sure what gym you're from, but welcome, Charlie. Very good. So we're about 15 people on the webinar, so we're going to go ahead and get started. It's a little after 10 o'clock. So once again, welcome everyone. My name is Mike Wiest. I'm the founder of The Box Business and CrossFit Como. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of background about me, my journey into CrossFit. You see that photo, I'm huffing and puffing. I think that was the first time I learned how to snatch. And my background was always, in lifting weights, but being a bro, not really into CrossFit at the beginning. So I discovered CrossFit around 2007 when I was in grad school, and I was working with a personal trainer who introduced me to CrossFit.com. The workout she wanted me to do, the first one, was Murph, but I chickened out because of the 2-mile runs. Like I said, I was the standard bro at the gym. We did a few workouts here and there, but it didn't stick. And the next year, I graduated with an MBA and began working. That job basically took everything out of me. I stopped working out, stopped being active. I played basketball here and there, but that was the extent of my activity. So after spending most of my mid-20s unhappy, I decided to look for new jobs and took a job in Columbia, Missouri at the university in town. It was probably the best move of my life. Made the most sense at that time. And I was once again all around my old friends and wanted to be active. So I started off at a local gym here in town, and my first workout was chest, the chest day. So, and then after a few months, I went by and I started to plateau in strength. I couldn't get any stronger and really, was just kind of getting bored with the gym again. So I was very frustrated. A friend of mine introduced me to the workout, the 300. So if you know that movie, that's that movie that I think Gerard Butler was in, a few other actors. Those guys got really ripped, and I ended up doing the workout that those guys were doing. First time it took me about 57 minutes to complete that workout. But after that, was hooked. I ended up doing that workout a couple times a week, and noticed my strength. On my strength building days, I was getting stronger. So I sought out to get some more information, and that was around 2011. So in doing my research, I rediscovered CrossFit, and we started doing the CrossFit.com workouts at my local gym. I started inviting my friends to do those with me. And we kind of created a small following that met a few times a week and knocked out a couple different workouts together. I loved it. I loved bringing the workouts to the gym. I loved teaching my friends some of the movements and explaining to them how they worked. And, in that time, I discovered I wanted to be a trainer. So, but I had a problem. I reached out to the local CrossFit gym in town. There was one here in town and had the hardest time to get a hold of them. So after 6 weeks of phone tag and emails, and I finally got them on the phone to figure out when I needed to get started or how I could get started. And they told me it was going to be about 6 weeks. Man, I was devastated. That was a struggle. I was really discouraged. I was frustrated with that. So I looked into becoming a trainer. So a little upset, some discouragement from that waiting those 6 weeks. I decided to go get my CrossFit level 1 and start a garage gym. I had to create a business plan in grad school on opening a traditional gym and figured that research could help get us off the ground. We procrastinated, and the certification that was closest to us, in St. Louis, sold out. So we registered for the next close one in CrossFit Nashville in Tennessee. And when we arrived that day, you can see that photo. This really tells the story. We were sitting there waiting for class to begin, waiting for the level 1 to begin, and out shows Rich Froney. The guy just walked out of nowhere. He said hello. All 50 people in the gym at the time were just basically starstruck, and we were we just realized that, wow, this was the moment, this was it, and this was the right decision. So yeah. So when we got back, we were fired up. We said, we wanted to get started, but we wanted to start slow. So we decided looking into some potential locations for the gym. So my friend at the time, he was the head coach, and I was the business guy, and together we kind of made a great team. So when we opened our gym, we opened with 30 days of free classes every week after work. So this was the start of the summer, so the weather was perfect. And we kind of started with 5 or 6 people, friends that we knew. Within a week, that turned into 10 to 15, then to 20 to 25. And one day, I'll never forget this, we capped out at 55 people in one of our free classes. We had 55 people in one class. Unreal. Luckily, the weather was great that day. We did many heats of 7 to 10 people to help keep the coaching on point between the two of us. And when we opened our gym, we opened with 40 members. We were cash flow positive. We had a very small space, only 1,700 square feet. But the biggest news, I think, was we had over 500 leads in our email list by the end of those first 30 days. And that was because of those free classes, a lot of the other things that we were doing. In that first couple months, we put hundreds of people to our one-day foundations course. I felt like a marketing genius. In 3 months, we had 100 members. In 6 months, we started planning an expansion. And at our 1-year point, we had over 200 members, and we were in the new facility. But with all that growth, we had a lot of problems. We had poor systems in place. We had low retention. We were a revolving door. Nobody was really focusing on our current athletes. We're all focused on bringing everybody in. We weren't really measuring anything. Our business practices were, pretty much non-existent. And we kept forgetting about the important thing is we forgot about the experience. So, it actually caused a pretty strong strain on the relationship I had with my business partner at the time, and we ended up splitting. And, with all the changes, with all the growth, we just knew we couldn't be sustainable doing that, and we ended up splitting the gym. So after the gym, I realized that if I didn't have any systems in place, the business wouldn't grow and wouldn't be sustainable. So I spent so many hours in the evenings analyzing our current processes, refining and developing new systems. So I first attacked our retention problem and realized it was my fault that we weren't retaining athletes. I was too focused on bringing new ones through the door. It was like having a water pail that was filling up but had a huge hole in it. So I had to create a mind shift in the way our coaches, our staff, and myself approached running our gym. So we shifted our focus to the athlete experience first. Excuse me. So our new focus was on the athlete experience. So we made that mind shift change. We started having meetings. We started talking differently. We started acting differently. I really stopped bringing new people in the door purposefully. I wanted to make the experience better for our current athletes and focus on systems in the business and improving those. And even more amazing things happened, but I'll share a little bit more of those later. When we made these changes, we started attracting the right people. Our people were happier, our revenue per athlete grew, and our attrition rate dropped. We were really legitimizing our business. So, does my story sound like yours? Yeah, I think so. A lot of the CrossFit owners I talk to, have very, very similar stories. So I decided I wanted to start a website to share my experience. We've been doing this for a few years now, and so I decided to launch TheBoxBusiness.com. And my goal with The Box Business was to help inspire current and future affiliate owners to run an awesome business by providing great content, interviews with some of the most influential people in the CrossFit industry. So I do that through a podcast. I write some great content on our blog. Our blog's all about actionable business principles. So, I share my successes and failures to help you grow. I also have a few services in there, consulting, branding, marketing, web development, design, and more. But really, it's all about, in my opinion, giving back. So The Box Business really is developed based on my research I did developing CrossFit Como. I am a data-driven person. I am all about research. And it took a long time, and I really started looking at hundreds of CrossFit websites to determine what best practices, what things were out there for the most successful gyms. In the past 2 years, I've visited 30 different gyms from all sizes, all places in the world. I've interviewed dozens of affiliate owners for the Box Business podcast, which will be launching here in March. And I've helped dozens of new affiliates get off the ground running, developing their websites, strategic marketing plans, and other consulting practices. So I did a survey recently, and I found out some pretty interesting things. And I had affiliates from all over the world reply in this survey. And I just really wanted to know what was the biggest struggle in their business. And here's what we found. CrossFit gyms struggle with two things: bringing new people in the door and keeping people around. If you look at this chart, you can see 37% of the respondents needed help bringing more people in. 32% of those respondents needed help keeping people in the doors. And then you can see the rest of the chart, about 30% of those people needed help with coaching, better business practices, or other things. So that got me thinking. I started thinking about what is the life cycle of our customers, and I created the CrossFit Athlete Life Cycle. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to walk through this and look, how we get somebody in the door, get them to make a purchase, how we keep them around, and turn them into a brand advocate. So we'll walk through that. Before we get started, though, you need to consider something, and this will help affect all of your decision making. And this is called the lifetime value of an athlete. So what the lifetime value of an athlete really examines is how much is one new athlete to your business worth. So here's an example. I have a gym. I have 3 members. Here's their time frames of them in my gym. So we have Doug, Cindy, and Seth. Doug's been there for 9 months. He pays $110 a month. And so far, the revenue per him in our gym is $990. Cindy, she's paying a little bit more per month. She's been there a little bit longer, and we're making about $1,500 from her. Seth, he's been there less time, but he's paying more per month. And so we've made about $900 revenue. So far, 27 months of athletes being in our gym and $3,390 in revenue. So we got to take the average to kind of see what is our average revenue per member and what is our average lifetime value of every new athlete. So our athletes are there 9 months. They're worth about $1,130. So if you start considering that each new athlete in your gym is worth $1,100, you're going to start making different decisions than if you you don't consider that. We have a thing called the allowable acquisition costs, and that's how much money you can spend based on acquiring a new customer. And I write about that in the blog, and I have a little calculator, some simulation you can go through to kind of figure out what is the appropriate amount of money to spend to acquire a new athlete. So let's get into the CrossFit athlete life cycle. Like I said, the biggest struggle in their business right now, retaining current athletes and attracting new ones. So understanding the CrossFit athlete life cycle in your gym is a key measurement in the performance of your affiliate. So in this series, we're going to break down each piece of the cycle, give you the tools and ways to implement and add more value. Having a clear picture of the CrossFit athlete life cycle for your affiliate will not only make your gym easier to run, but also make sure you're focusing on the important pieces that actually grow your business, drive the athlete experience, and keep your athletes around for the long term. So whether you're about to open your gym or you're the first CrossFit athlete out there, you're going to benefit from understanding this concept. So the first part of that life cycle is the awareness stage. So this is where people get the first impression of your gym, and they get it through a variety of channels. So this could be a casual conversation from a friend. Maybe they saw the CrossFit Games on ESPN. Maybe they're at Dick's and they were in the sporting goods section and saw that there's a pair of Reeboks with the word CrossFit on them and search for CrossFit in your city. This is really the discovery phase, and the first impressions are everything. So make sure your website, your brand is well represented. Many times when people check out my gym, they tell me it's because my website was very professional and easy to navigate. I hear that from drop-ins all the time. For people joining the gym, many times the reason is a referral or location related to their home. They found a connection with one of our coaches, or they read a testimonial. So a couple examples of that first aspect, or that first piece in the awareness is things like word of mouth, blogs, social media, our websites, referrals, testimonials. And like I said, the effect on LFA or LVA, lifetime value of an athlete, this is the first step. So make sure your messaging is consistent. Some things for you to consider is, how do I get a potential athlete into the consideration stage after they first become aware of our gym? So what kind of barriers to entry are there? The next phase is the consideration phase. And so you got somebody on the phone, or they sent you, they came to your website, they saw your email offer, they're considering jumping in on a workout and testing out CrossFit at your gym. So how are you different from other gyms in town? They're going to start to compare your prices, your services, what benefits you provide. How do others feel about CrossFit, XYZ? So you need to prove to them that you will provide an exceptional service and that you're the right place for them at this moment in time. When they Google your gym, are you the first few people on the page, or are you buried on page 2? So to really persuade people to grow in consideration, you need to do things like have reviews on Facebook and Yelp and Google, have those success stories on your website, regularly write on your blog, post to YouTube, and then maybe have a little social proof. So our effect on LFA is simple. It's get them in the door, get them to the next stage, however you can get them there. And how do you persuade people to get them in the gym? So what kind of barriers to entry are you having for people to come in? The third phase is trial. So you have a date set for the first experience at your gym. How are you going to wow them? How are you going to get them to make a purchase? What's their experience going to be like? I went out and mapped a clear system for each incoming athlete and wrote out a system on how exactly each athlete gets their first experience at my gym. Are you providing value for them, giving them an experience to get them to purchase? Here's how we do it at CrossFit Como. The first 3 sections of your customer acquisition stage. And I actually wrote about that in a blog post called Welcoming New Athletes. So your job, you got them in the door. That's the huge first step. Once they're in the door, you got to give them an experience they'll never forget. And there's a lot of ways to get people to try things out. I've seen 2-week free memberships, come in for a free class. Here's an incentive to come try it. Just remember all of those messaging, all of those different ways you are, trying to get somebody in the door affects the perception of people about your brand. So consider that, your barriers to entry and make that barrier to entry very, very low. So finally, once people are in the door, though, you're starting to contribute to that lifetime value of an athlete. And this is where they really build that emotional connection to your brand. Okay. So outside of our retention, making a purchase or commitment to a CrossFit gym is a huge step. And this is where many affiliate owners struggle. They really don't know how to close. So somebody comes in, they try out your gym, but you don't know how to get them to that next phase. You don't know how to get them to spend the money. You don't know how to get them to justify spending $100 plus per month in your gym when it doesn't really have a shower, there's no pool, you're located on the outskirts of town. So how do you do that? Well, you have to create a high value proposition. And once you do that, once you get people in the door and you can sell them and say, hey, this is a great value, you're starting the lifetime value of an athlete cycle. This is where they start making money. I know in my gym, once a athlete comes through the door, if I get them to sign up for that foundations course, I know I'm going to have them around for a long, long time. So here's how do you get people to purchase, foundations, memberships, personal training, nutrition program, seminars. You have to make it easy to purchase, get out of the way. On my website and on a lot of websites that I create for others, we make it so people can buy the membership directly on the website. I don't know how many times I've made sales just from people signing up for my foundations course without even talking to me ever on the phone. And that's ideal. It just saves me time. So if you really want to grow that lifetime value of an athlete, you need to have additional purchases available. And those are things like personal training. That's probably the biggest thing gyms can do now to really grow their revenue. It's not all about simply having a membership. It's about growing the average revenue per client per month with things like nutrition programming or personal training or selling supplements and gear. So you need to carefully consider what are the best options for your community. So make sure they're adding value to your membership. And there you go. So the last piece that people really struggle with is retention. This is the biggest struggle I've had actually in my gym. And when I've talked to other affiliate owners, this is what their struggle as well. To me, it feels very personal when people leave. You always wonder what could I have done to keep them around. So at CrossFit Coma, one thing I do that I think is very beneficial is to cancel a membership, you have to do an exit interview. Now, that interview maybe not with me, but it's through at least a form that they have to fill out and explain why they're leaving. And that's just a great data information for you to why somebody leaves. If people will be honest with you and they'll tell you why. So there's a lot of good examples out there on great retention programs and ideas, and available all throughout TheBoxBusiness.com. But you have to ask yourself, are your members participating in something bigger than themselves? Are you creating a journey for them? And here's a couple ideas for retention. So doing things like monthly challenges, having skill sheets, that create small wins. That's a great blog post I have put up. You do things like auto billing or recurring memberships. A lot of new gyms I talk to are going out every single month asking people to pay their dues. Well, people are going to show up. Are you giving back to your community? Are you building, helping local charities? Are you creating benefits and doing events? Do you have somebody that's in charge of calling athletes when they miss a few classes or miss a few weeks? It's all about creating small wins. You create small wins, you get people to have common goals. Things are gonna snowball and people are gonna stick around. Are you making deposits in the emotional bank account? You always need to be learning from your members, always talking to them, always having conversations. And here's a really nice little tip. If you don't have this, create a private Facebook group. That's a way to bring the experience of your gym online. Everyone's on Facebook. I think of all of our membership, we probably have less than 5 people that aren't on Facebook. Um, you got to really make it hard to leave, you know. And there's so many things to do with retention. It's such a big struggle that a lot of gyms have, but there's so many opportunities there. So a couple of questions to consider is, you know, this is the stage where you really start growing that lifetime value of an athlete. The longer people stay, the higher the lifetime value. If you create some systems and continue to improve on them, once people join, they'll stay longer. So some questions to consider is, you know, how long do they sit in the retention stage? And as you understand your lifetime value of an athlete, you're going to invest more money in the acquisition of a customer. So the next stage is our brand advocate. You're not going to get everybody into the next stage, but that should be your end goal. You will have some natural attrition. That's just part of the game. But your goal is to drive people to become a brand advocate. So if you're not measuring attrition, you're definitely leaving yourself a lot on the table. You should assign somebody to monitor and check in with your athletes. In the beginning, it's probably you, but maybe as you grow, you can pass this off to another coach. And if your software program doesn't have a report telling you if someone hasn't come in for 2 weeks, you probably need to find a new software program. So finally, our whole entire goal is to create brand advocates. So, you know, I experienced this when I lost my business partner, and you know, we did a good job of creating a lot of CrossFit advocates, but we create CrossFit Como brand ambassadors. And when my business partner left, I noticed that we lost about 20% of our membership that went with them. So they weren't loyal to my brand, they were loyal to the coach. So your goal is to get them to live, breathe, sweat, and bleed your brand. If you're not doing that, why? What are you doing to grow your athletes into brand ambassadors? Are you providing an amazing experience? Are you depositing their emotional bank accounts each and every day? You can make a difference in their lives and those they touch. So this is a journey, and this should be with you. So these are things like referral programs, testimonials, reward, publicity. And here's some questions to consider. How are you making a difference in these people's lives? How are you depositing their emotional bank accounts? Are these people bigger or a part of something that's bigger than themselves? Becoming a brand advocate, and we've all seen them, whether that's somebody that only drinks Coke over a Pepsi, they'll never have a Pepsi, they only drink Coke, or people that go to certain restaurants or have a certain, you know, favorite pizza or anything like that. You know, this is where you have to get people to bleed your brand. If you're doing the right things, they will, and they'll always talk about your CrossFit gym, and they'll never leave. So on your worksheet, I showed 10 action items to improve phase 1. So this is one of those biggest things that I think affiliate owners are struggling with, is attracting new athletes. So I'm gonna give you 10 different ways and explain each one, how you guys can take actionable items and implement into your gym right now, today. So retaining current athletes and attracting new ones. Understand the CrossFit athlete life cycle in your gym is a key measurement of the performance of your affiliate. So we're going to look through phase 1 and look at those 10 action items. So here we go. So here's 10 things you can do to improve that first phase of the athlete life cycle. So first, you need to measure everything. If you're not measuring, you can't manage. You need to develop systems to measure everything in your business. From inquiries to trial to purchase, you should measure all of your marketing efforts. So for every dollar you spend, you need to know where it's coming from and what it's contributing. All great brands tell their story. If you're not communicating the story of your athletes, your coaches, or yourself, you're not doing it. You need to have those sections on your website. You need to post that content on your social media channels, and you need to do it regularly. how can you ever, keep people around if you're not talking about the successes in their gym? Um, I'll tell you an example of ours. I don't know how many times a week when I get a new inquiry, it's somebody that read a story about somebody that looked like them. It's one of our success stories on the website. You got to remove barriers to entry. You got to make it easy for people to register, pay, and contact you via your website or online presence. There should be specific calls to action on each of your highest visited pages. Every testimonial page should have a call to action for when that person makes the emotional connection to a member of your gym. Think about it. You're in a heightened emotional state. You're reading about how somebody may have lost 50 or 75 pounds, and that you think that could be you. You better make it easy for them to get a hold of you to sign up to get more information from you. You need to get reviews and recommendations. One thing I do is when people are at my gym on their foundations program, they're usually kind of riding on cloud 9, and on their 4th visit, we send them an email that says, hey, send us a review on Google, on Facebook, on Yelp. And this provides some social proof to your business and that people recommend it. So how many times do you go to a new restaurant in town if the reviews stink? Never. But you're willing to try something if other people have tried it and give it positive reviews. If you're not listed on Google Places, Bing, you're missing out on a lot of people. So many people travel to a new area and they search for a gym and they need to know where it is. And Google Places is a fantastic tool. It's free to set up. There's places out there that'll set up for you for a fee, but it's definitely something most people can do. Provide a lot of value up front. So what we're looking for is when somebody visits your website, are they getting a great value up front? Are you establishing yourself as a leader in fitness or results? And are you doing that in your town? Number 7, establish a consistent marketing presence on the right communication channels. We have this really cool thing called an editorial calendar that I developed where we're publishing certain information throughout the month. And that helps us keep consistent with our messaging. So the editorial calendar is really a great first step to a strategic marketing plan. So increase publicity by connecting with key community influencers. So I regularly reach out to local community influencers and see if I can provide value to them. In my town, we have TV and newspapers. And so I go out to them and I just offer relative story ideas to the reporters. So every few months, you're going to see me on a news story or in a newspaper or in a local magazine because I'm going out there giving content, providing value up front to their reporters. Okay. On your website, you need to sell benefits and results. Your marketing copy should talk about the benefits of your program. Create that emotional connection. And it's not just CrossFit or you have great coaches. It's all about the results people get. That's why they come to your website. That's why they come to you. You're the expert. If you don't have an aggressive referral program, that's a huge piece that I think you need to have in your gym. It's important to your success. It doesn't have to be a financial reward. You have to figure out what's best for your community. But if you think about it, if you have a good referral program, you're going to get the people in your gym bring in more people like them in your gym. So your favorite members are bringing their favorite people to the gym, and it's just going to continue to grow, and grow. So you need to make sure you're asking your community to bring their friends in regularly. One thing we do is once a month, it's just a Teamwork Tuesday. We do Teamwork Tuesday every Tuesday, but once a month we let people bring their friends in. And I can tell you every single month we get 5 to 10 people that come in just because of that. New people that are not just for the workout, but actually come and join our foundations program. So it's been a huge success. So I'm going to give you guys a few, just a look on a case study about my gym, CrossFit Como. We're going to kind of look through and see how I've implemented these things in my website. So we search for CrossFit in Columbia, Missouri. You see CrossFit Como. I'm listed first. I got 11 Google reviews. If you look at some of the other gyms in town, just from a CrossFit perspective, they only have a couple. You know, you see the map. I'm right there, century located in the map. And if you look through the links, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 links in the very first page of that search. That's all Google places. That's what you need to be on. When you land on my website, I have a clear call to action as soon as you hit my website. If you see up in the top left corner, you have my phone number and my email. You can contact me at anytime. And then the first question, the first slide people see is why CrossFit Como? And here's the reason why. We're a supportive community, professional coaches, accountability to your fitness goals, nutrition coaching, and a proven record of success. So when they click on that link to get started, you know, we go into those details and tell them why we do all of that. As you scroll down the page, you see things like meet CrossFit Como. So I have a short video about our grand opening and it tells people why they love CrossFit Como. That video is viewed so many times. But you also have people that don't know anything about CrossFit. So I also have that video on our website. At the bottom, we have some social proof. So $3,591 is the money that we've given back to Columbia, our community, since we've opened. You know, I think that resonates with people. As you scroll down a little bit further, here's some just quick buttons that you see make it easy for people to check out our different programs. So think, you know, how to get started, our world-class coaching, nutrition coaching, our CrossFit Kids program, personal training, our barbell club, and then, you know, we even have a competitors program. So this is a best practice. A little bit further down, you see things like our news and more. So we talk about the different things that we're doing. We're regular updating content. And on the right side, we have events. So these are things that people can come to the community. And these events actually get pulled up by local newspapers, local media. They actually come to our website, grab our events to share, and we don't even have to do anything. So that's pretty important. And then finally, you get to our success stories. And this is the part really where you start seeing you know, people seeing themselves in other people. And this is so important on that homepage. It's so important throughout your website to sneak these in. We write these success stories. We publish them on our social media. It drives so much traffic to our website, and it gets people in the door. Finally, I end the website with another call to action. And this is just another great way to get people to come in the door. Once they fill out that email or that email form, they get an automatic email from me inviting them to come in. So that's just the best practice from a website perspective. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about automating your sales and marketing. So I developed a strategic email marketing program that accomplishes a couple of things. It converts inquiries to intro classes. And in that, we have 5 emails that encourage them to come in. So we welcome them to the gym. We ask them what kind of fears they have. We introduce them to our coaches, and we have another email that helps them read stories about successes in our gym. We also have an email program that focuses on converting intro class attendees to clients. So it's a very systematic approach to the class. Every time you come experience that class, it's going to be a great experience for everyone. It's going to be consistent. So our emails in those, we talk about what fears do they have and how to get them signed up, you know, quickly and on their own, and how to get started in less than a week or get started tomorrow. We also have a pretty cool program that brings back clients that we lost. I have an email that is 2 sentences long that I've sent to hundreds of former clients, and it's brought more people back in the gym than I ever thought possible. And all I ask is, hey, how are you doing? I miss seeing you at the gym. Those are 2 lines. They get those emails about 6 to 8 weeks after they leave. And we're bringing, it's only 10% back, but that's 10% that we never had before. And that's all automated through email. And then one thing we did, which I think is probably the most important thing, is I have mapped out the entire lifecycle and experience that people have at CrossFit Como. And I started adding emails that send directly to them based on a number of factors. And this is how I help create people into CrossFit Como brand advocates. And it's really simple. They have an email that goes out and just explaining benefits of the gym that takes them to the first 6 months they're a member at my gym. They get these emails about once every 7 to 10 days, and it just kind of nurtures them along their experience. I have another set of emails that I send based on accomplishments in the gym. So when somebody checks in for the first time, they get an email saying, "Hey, great check-in. We're glad you experienced your first workout." We check in through them every day. They come through our foundations program, and then we follow up in their 10th day in the gym. Then we follow up with them in their 25th day in the gym. Then we follow up with them in their 50th gym. And one really cool thing, when they hit that 50 check-ins, it's about their 3-month progress, 3 months in the gym. And that's really the part and the time we see people, if they're going to leave, they're going to leave at that 3-month mark. So we tell them and ask them for a success story. We start building this cycle so I can build the website, build the success stories on my website. And this is all about providing value. This is all about giving more value than what they pay for. And what's great about this whole system is it's once it's set up, it runs itself. So that basically concludes our presentation for today. I just want to kind of let you guys know what's next for the Box Business. So my goal is to continue to provide great, inspiring, actionable content on our blog. We're looking to launch our podcast on March 1st, so keep an eye out for that. Still doing our consulting services, on the phone or in location. We have some new services coming about. And then we have one great thing I want to share with you guys today. I think you guys are really, really going to like it. I'm really excited about it. And it's called the Box Business Academy. So what's the Academy? It's all about making a world-class affiliate. So the Box Business Academy is an awesome, awesome tool. And our goal is to help you guys become an unforgettable athlete experience with coaches making a great living, owners having more time to focus on their business, their family, systems in place to run everything. This is what the Box Business Academy is all about. It's just a great resource for you to go out there and provide you all the tools and training to take your affiliate to the next level. So here's what you get inside the Academy. Some automated sales and marketing. We got complete systems, and everything's driven to enhance that athlete experience. You're going to find things like policies, contracts, and procedures, seminars and programs. These are things that have added $10,000 plus to my business this past year. It's just some great stuff, great content in there. I also have a 12-month strategic marketing plan just to simplify your marketing efforts so you can pass that on to a coach or an intern and enhance the athlete experience. Also, you're going to find is our coaching development program and turn you and your staff into professional world-class coaches. So you start with the foundations of coaching and grow into a lead, and then grow into a leader of your gym. Our internship program, we've sent 6 coaches through this already. It's a great tool. It's a great program. It's in the Academy, and ways to optimize your website to convert your members. And what's really cool about the Box Business Academy, we have a private Facebook mastermind group. So we're really having discussions day to day on what's going on. We have extensive, frequently asked questions. And once you join, you have a lifetime membership. Here's a few testimonials of other people that I've worked with in the past. You guys can read those on the Academy website. If you want to check out the Academy in practice, this is the things that I have done that have helped increase revenue at my gym. So our first year, we did $100,000 in revenue. When I started building the Academy and building the systems and processes, we went to $227,000. We're projecting this year to be $300,000 plus. If you look at the time that we opened in May of 2013. to December 2014, you'll see just in that same amount of time, we've grown 47% in the same amount of time year over year. So how do you get started with the Academy? Is that something you're interested in? We're launching it March 1st of this year, so just a few weeks away. The price is only $12.99, and we do a 6-month payment option. However, if you use the code FOUNDERS, you're going to get a credible deal. The price goes down to $4.99, so only $499 if you use code FOUNDERS, and that's such a great opportunity. That code's only going to be available for a few more weeks. We got a lot of people in the program already. We'd be happy if you guys can make it. And if you want to get started, it's just academy.TheBoxBusiness.com. So thank you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and type those in the chat on the live webinar website. If not, feel free to shoot me an email, Mike@CrossFitComo or Mike@TheBoxBusiness.com. Make sure to check out the Academy. We'd be happy to have you guys in there. We have dozens of affiliate owners already in there, already using the program, and they're, it's such a great tool. Like I said, it grew my business. My business is continuing to grow using those tools, practices, and principles. It's been my pleasure working with you guys today, talking to you guys today, and I hope you got a lot of value out of this webinar. Feel free to give me a call if you have any questions, or shoot me an email. Thank you.